Hello, hello, hello. We are live.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we have the lovely Lisa. We got Mr. Achilles
Lisa,
with us, and we got the lovely
Achilles.
starter runner and everything and beyond, and Miss Jordan with us today.
I seem super fun.
You know what I'm saying? And of course, you got Mike Blue here with you. So Jordan, what's our topic for today?
Today we are navigating emasculation and effeminization in relationships. Dum, ba, ba.
Ugh.
Yeah.
So, what were you gonna say?
No. You go ahead. You go ahead. I was like,
Oh,
yeah, that
okay.
sounds like a big word, but okay, let's get
It is. So I just
the
wanted to start
last.
off by
I'm not gonna lie, the
defining
last one
them.
got me a little bit. I was just like effeminization. I was like, how do I use that in a
Yes,
sentence? Okay.
that's the feminine version of emasculation. Does that make sense?
Okay. Okay. Explain. Yeah.
Effeminization.
Explain that in the thing. Explain that because I'm like I don't see how that works. But okay.
Right. Okay, so emasculation is the act of making a person feel less masculine, right? Effeminization, right, is the act of making a person feel less feminine. So generally speaking, emasculation would happen to males or masculine people. Effeminization would happen to feminine people in relationship dynamics, right? And so it can be something that is outright, like I'm doing this obviously, or it could be something that is subtle, but it could be anything from like undermining somebody's confidence, constantly talking about like belittling their abilities, their decision makings, their self-esteem. Could be financial control. That's a big one in effeminization, or actually both of them. If you have a partner that is taking away your financial independence, they monitor all of the financial stuff, and you have no access to it. Right? Public humiliation. That's another one. Withholding intimacy. So no sex for you until you do what I want you to do. Right?
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
questioning that person's masculinity or femininity, like, oh, you're not masculine or feminine because you don't do X, Y, and Z. Comparing the partner to other people, ignoring their opinions and feelings, talking down to them, talking in a condescending, that's the word I was looking for, condescending tone. And then the last one would be exerting dominance, which is specific to, well, it really could be with either one, because you could have a female partner who is dominant or a male partner who is dominant. So, yes, so that is emasculation and effeminization. Everybody got it? We're good? We're clear?
Yeah. Yeah. I got it.
Yeah.
I just
Thank you.
couldn't help but to feel like I meet some of those things of effeminization, and I have
Oh.
definitely been emasculated in my own right, and I didn't like it. I didn't like it. So,
Well,
How
you
did that
know
make you
what?
feel?
Let's dive
What?
into that.
Tell
Yeah,
us your
let's dive
story.
on it.
What happened? What happened to you,
Story
Mikey?
time.
um, I was with somebody in an intimate nature, and the way they was just putting it on me just made me feel
This recent?
it's none of your business. Anyways, so the way it went down was it was like I'm with the person, and they climbed on top, and they went to shoving my face down,
Hmm.
and they just went him, and I'm over here like, hey, wait, move your hand up. It was
So
good,
that
but I didn't feel
that
right
was that like
afterward.
So there's a part of you
dominance
that
part,
enjoyed.
No,
right?
I enjoyed it a little bit, but then afterwards, when I thought about it, I was like, yo, I think
But later you thought about.
I thought about it
Later.
afterwards, and it was just like it's kind of emasculating for me because it was like I was trying to move my head up, and they told me to shut up. It was like shut up and take it. I was like, I mean,
That is very dominant.
it's hard. It's hard. it's it's hard to. Oh yeah, it's hard to take that. Oh Jesus, when I think about it, oh my God,
It's
oh my God.
okay.
Oh,
It's
Uh,
okay.
yeah,
got
it was
emotional.
just a tad bit emotional. He's like, while it was funny at the same time, that I look back at it, I was like, I really got tried. If I had on pearls, I would have grabbed it at the time. That's how much it hit me. Let me stop. Oh God, I was telling Jordan about it. She was busting out laughing. It was just like too funny for her. And you just imagine my face like, oh, it's just too much. It's too much.
Well,
Oh,
thank you for that.
there was that experience. So yeah,
And
but yeah,
that's,
enough of
I
my
could
story.
imagine like that kind of goes, that's in like twofold, because that one aspect of that would be like exerting dominance, right? Because she was literally dominating your physical being, right?
Yep. Yep.
But then the other aspect of that could be the like ignoring your feelings because you were like, hey, can we stop, can we get a moment? And she was like, nah, take this. That was very intense.
I ain't gonna lie. I like the effort and the aggressiveness. I ain't gonna lie, it was a turn on. However, after I reflected upon it, I do realize that there was a hint of demasculization in that effort that was being made, and
So
it
does
was
it
like,
count as demasculinization or emasculation if you enjoyed it? Like when you're talking about like BDSM, where
yeah.
this
See, you
person
know what, and
likes.
you know what? That's a good that's a good connection to it. Now I'm not quite. Now I'm down for that too. I ain't gonna lie. Now I'm down for that. However, though, I think there's a conversation that needs to be had first before you go shoving somebody's face
Okay.
into a pillow.
So it's
So
consent. It
they're
has to be consensual.
I would like
right.
I would like it to be I would like it for me to be, you know what I mean? Yeah, for me. I mean, so let's just
Because the act is still the act, right? Whether you consent to it or not, it's I guess
Right.
regardless of whether you consent to it or not, it's the act is the act. However, if you like it, then maybe you like the act, and it's not a bad thing for you.
yeah.
Right.
So I liked it, but I felt some type of way afterward, but I liked it. Now
So
you asked
then
me
would
if it
it
was to go
still
down
be
again, would I not do it again? Ain't gonna lie, it was fine. It's fine. I just still
so
felt
then does
demasculated.
that count as demasculinizing?
I don't know. But the way they made me feel afterwards though, during the time I enjoyed it. But then afterwards I was like, I don't like it. But next time, let's talk about it though. Let's have a safe word or something, because my feelings do matter.
Mm, okay.
But since it was a new experience, you weren't able to construe what was being done. It was
That
after
part.
the fact you had been emasculated that
Hmm.
you realized that it was something that you might not. So with this particular partner, did you have your conversation of what are the do's and the don'ts?
I
Mm,
Something
thought I
had to
did.
make something had to make her feel comfortable enough to be able to try that.
mm,
Yeah, I
Does
agree.
that make
I agree.
sense?
Conversations was had of the do's and the don'ts. That was not one of the don'ts. So therefore, they were free to operate how they see wish. There was a lot of don'ts. Actually, there was not too many don'ts. It was like probably like two or three, but that wasn't a part of the don'ts. So therefore, I guess they rightfully so had the ability to act in how they see fit. But I just know that at the time it was great, but then I look back at it, I was like, oh my god, this, and then they just
But
rolled
if
over and
the
went to sleep.
roles were reversed and it was man doing it to a woman without having the conversation and getting permission, we'd be having a whole different topic discussion. Does
sure
that make
would.
sense? So it is
Yes, we
it are you
would, because that
saying
would
it's
be considered as taking it from them, isn't it?
Yeah. So I was gonna say
Mm,
that I
a
don't
mm-hmm.
know
double
that.
standard?
I was gonna say I don't know that this is the right example for demasculation. I think this is just humiliation. I think she was just humiliating you because
Humiliation for sure.
in a sexual situation with someone, um, to assume that that kind of action would be emasculating would assume that typically speaking, the man would be the dominant person in the bedroom. That's not always the case.
Right.
And which I'm okay with it at times. I'm okay with it.
Right. But what I'm
I,
saying
I
is that if that was the case, that the man is usually the dominant one, then that act would be her demasculating you because she's taking away your dominance. But in factuality, it can go both ways. I think in this
Right.
particular instance, she was just trying to humiliate you for her own sexual pleasure at that time, and
Mm,
that was something that made her feel good. So I would say that was probably closer to humiliation. Now, did it humiliate
for
you
sure.
at the time? No, because you enjoyed it.
Hmm. Very much
But
so.
perhaps it humiliated you later.
Yeah,
And so that,
and that's really what I didn't feel humiliated. I just felt like that was not nice, but I kind of like it a little bit, but it wasn't nice. Like,
Mm,
yeah.
shoving my face down, it was like, oh my god.
So I guess what we need to define is we need to define, what are the essential aspects of what we've had this conversation before. What is a typical masculine, right, sort of behavior or attributes, and then for someone to then
right.
attack those attributes and take those attributes away from you, that would be probably a better example of demasculation. And for me, I would venture to say that demasculating someone is when you you come to an understanding with that person about what their role is as a man, with relationships, with parenthood, with whatever the case may be. Both people have this understanding of what the masculine role is, and then once those roles are understood, you attack them and tell them that they're not doing that role right, and and you do it in a humiliating way. You're attacking the masculine attributes of themselves, the masculine aspects that you both come to understand are the masculine aspects, and you're attacking those roles and those sort of behaviors from them to make them feel less of a man. In that situation, you would be demasculating that person.
So, like, for example, if you were in a relationship with a partner and you had the understanding that you were going to be the primary provider, right? But then this partner was like, no, I'm going to provide because you're trash and I do it better and da 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 da, and then told you weren't allowed to work or you weren't, like, that's extreme kind of example.
Yeah.
But that would be an example because there was this understanding that you were going to be the primary provider. But then this partner came in and said, nah, you're trash. I do it better.
Yeah, I would say that in a lot of respect, and maybe some people may agree with it or may not agree with it, but typically in a relationship, in a lot of respect, it is sort of the expectation that the man is going to provide, be an earner. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be the main earner and the top earner, but you're gonna earn in some respect and be a provider for your family in some respect. And so if that role is understood as a part of your role as the man in the family, and somebody attacks you and says, "Hey, look, you're trash or you're a loser," and just to be fair, I've seen that dynamic with relationships, uh, with friends and things like that, where somebody attacks someone because they're not able to buy the lavish things for that person and make them feel like they got all the glitz and glamour and stuff like that, and they attack them for that and say, and well, look at so and so's boyfriend, how he buys her this bag, that bag. See, they take care of their woman. That's a real man. That's a real man.
Right.
When you say things like that, well, let me tell you what a real man does.
Right.
A real man pays the
Comparing to
bills.
others, yeah.
Yeah, you comparing that person to other men. You say, if you were a real man, you would treat me this way. You would make me feel special this way as a man. And that sort of act would be demasculating, and that can have long-term effects in a relationship. And so I think that's something that we have to be really cautious of, especially when you're in a relationship with someone who prides themselves on being, sort of a masculine figure in a relationship.